Hello, my name is Ellie Barnes. I'm a writer and a librarian, and today we're going to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, I had written notes for a couple more episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm doing a recap for each episode. I did a video for the first episode, and then I had some serious technical problems, so I couldn't do a recap or video recap, I should say, for the next couple of episodes. But I wrote down notes anyway, and the weird thing with this is that the notes are still relevant because we're sort of focusing on one storyline and then on a different storyline and then coming back to the first storyline, jumping episode to episode. So the thoughts I had to share with you, I think are still worth sharing. I will warn you, if you haven't seen these episodes, if you haven't seen the first 5 episodes of Season 3, this video will make no sense. And it will also be filled with spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn the video off now. And I'm not going to go into all of my thoughts because the recaps are getting longer and longer as the episodes are getting more complex. And I like that. They're doing a good job. They're writing an interesting multi-character show, so it takes me a long time to explain what's going on. But it does mean I also can't put all of my thoughts into this video. I'm just going to refer to my recaps, and if you really want to see what I think, you'll have to read those. Particularly for something that's going on in the second thing I'm going to discuss in this video. I think I've figured out something that's not going to be revealed until possibly the next episode, or maybe further past that. So we're not even talking about you being spoiled on episodes that have already aired, but possibly being spoiled on something that won't happen for another week or two. So if you don't want to be spoiled, again, I would be very cautious about watching this episode. Watching this video, sorry. Okay, I'm going to discuss 2 things. The first one I want to go over is from the episode called Purpose in the Machine. This is the episode where we're dealing with the monolith. They take it to the castle in Scotland or England, and they manage to force it to open long enough for Fitz to go in, grab Gemma, and get out. Oddly enough, the thing I want to talk about is the title of the episode. Purpose in the Machine kind of references something called the Ghost in the Machine. Now, there's an intense psychological discussion centered around this phrase. That's the origin, but I'm not going to go into it because I don't think that's what they're referring to. And also, it is hella complicated, and it's to do with the duality of the self and Descartes and that. I am so not doing that, and if that's what you wanted, you are in a weird place looking for it. That's all I gotta say. But Arthur C. Clarke, in his sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey, I think the sequel was called 2010: Odyssey 2, in that book, there is a chapter called Ghost in the Machine, and it refers to a consciousness developing in artificial intelligence. Now, Arthur C. Clarke is a really significant author in science fiction, and because he titled that chapter that, I believe that's where we get all of these other references to Ghost in the Machine, referring to artificial intelligence developing consciousness or developing sentience. The title of the S.H.I.E.L.D. episode is Purpose in the Machine. And I find that very interesting, that they've done the play on the words with Ghost in the Machine. But I'm not sure. We've just had the episode where Gemma goes to the planet and meets Will. And she's convinced Will's convinced that there's something on the planet, that the planet hates them and has sort of a consciousness that is trying to kill them and is trying to attack them. If you think about the way she goes through the portal, she definitely accidentally goes through the portal. She didn't mean to. And there's other science fiction and fantasy moments across, all sorts of different TV shows and movies where someone accidentally goes through a portal or a wormhole or some transition between place A and place B. Sometimes they do it intentionally, like the kids going into the back of the wardrobe in Narnia. Sometimes they just fall into the gravitational pull or something. In this case, when Gemma is pulled, she actively runs from it, and it reaches out and grabs her. This makes me think when they're saying the purpose in the machine as the title of the episode, they're giving us a hint that there is some intent in Gemma Simmons ending up on that planet. I don't know how deliberate it is, I don't know how conscious it is. I kind of don't suspect that Will is any part of it. I think he's a separate entity. But his theory that the planet has a consciousness is really interesting. It's probably not accurate because they'll never give us that much information this early on. But yeah, there's some kind of a consciousness on that planet. I think Will is at least right about that. And for some reason, I think it wanted Gemma Simmons. Okay. The second one I want to talk about is sort of connected. And in Devils You Know, which was the episode just prior to this most recent one, the one that was focused entirely on Gemma and Will, the episode that was focused on Hunter searching for Ward and ATCU and S.H.I.E.L.D. searching for Lash, which is the name of the big porcupine crazy guy that was attacking people by putting holes in their bodies and then he can make a hole in a wall and escape through. I'm not going to explain my whole theory here. It's at the end of my recap, so if you want to see it, you can go read my recap. It's available on my website at labarnes.net. I will link it below. It's also on my Facebook page. First of all, I don't think Dr. Garner's dead. They deliberately tried to make us think that he is. I do not believe that he is. The other thing I will say is, I'm pretty sure I know who Lash is. I'm not going to explain it here because it would take a breakdown of almost every scene that character's in, and I did that in the recap. I know the recap is a little long, but it's a really intricate idea to explain, and they've done a very good job with it, if it's what I think it is. But if you want to know who I think Lash is, go read the recap. Again, I'll link it below. And of course, finally, I have written my recap for the Gemma and Will episode, which of course, even after all of this, my brain is just not giving me the title of that episode. But the most recent episode. I'm posting that recap today, the same day I post this video. And again, I will link it below so you can read it if you would like. Come back next week and we will discuss May's hunt for Ward, which has gotten even more intense now that she thinks he's killed Dr. Garner. And I will see you next week.